States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Chapter 551 of the Texas Code is amended, known as the Texas Open Meetings Act. Any members of the public who wish to speak shall each have 3 minutes to speak. Mr. Morgan, do you want to speak this morning?
Yes, ma'am, but not until you know,
Sir?
I'm not just going to have 3 minutes. Right?
It's on the agenda.
I know it is.
I'm on the agenda.
Yes, but do you want to speak this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to wait until then?
I can.
I'm just asking you, so we won't have skipped over you. You'll wait until your section, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anyone else that would like to speak this morning? If not, we will go into our regular meeting. We do have Mike Dixon here this morning. Would you like to take his first and go down to number 9? Mike, we will hear from you first. Then we will go into a public hearing on Freestone County's intent to enter into a tax abatement agreement with Granalia Solar Power Ratcliffe LLC relating to the solar facilities and equipment. So what time is it now?
9:09.
9:09.
Your Honor, this is a 85 megawatt AC solar generation facility on approximately 459 acres. It's reinvestment zone number 7. It's within the Oakwood ISD. The projected capital investment is approximately $88,800,000. The yearly pilot will be $76,891. They'll pay a $10,000 upfront payment, which will be due when the full tax abatement agreement is fully executed by both sides. And the additions and improvements are expected to be done by the end of 2026.
All right. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to this? If not, then we will close the public hearing at
9:10.
9:10. We'll go to item number 10, which is discussion and possible action on approval of tax abate agreement between Freestone County and Granalia Solar Power Ratcliffe LLC. I think you have your documents in front of you there.
It's essentially the same format. The numbers change, obviously, and the provision for upfront payment is different from,
From the
earlier
prior ones.
projects that we didn't require upfront payment on.
This is $230 million.
No, this one is for $88,800,000.
Look for,
Yeah, whatever.
The Palmera one is the 230.
Yeah, Palmer's 230.
And just for the public's information, the tax abatement will be 100% tax abatement, and then there will be a pilot program.
Right.
The funds then will be
They make
paid
a payment in lieu of taxes.
in lieu of taxes. We have had that question before about why we were giving 100% abatements to people. Yeah.
And they're making cash payments, they essentially end up with about a 30% abatement.
Mhm.
Which is probably one of the lowest in the state. Oh, and it does have the road machinery on it, all of them do.
Exhibit C is the road use agreement.
The road use agreement is an attachment, it's like attachment B or C.
Just the next, the next one on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one. Resolution approving road use agreement, and then they sign it.
In there, neighbor called me, it's south, the neighbors that were south that called me about moving to where they're trying to head to it.
Okay, Aaron,
That financial assurance on the road use agreement is on page 21.
What do y'all typically do on that? Is it, do they put the money in escrow or just do the letter of credit?
They can do a bond, a letter of credit, or put it in escrow, sometimes they'll do a letter of credit. Now, I'll tell you, Hill County has gone to just saying, we don't want a letter of credit or a bond, we want $100,000 in escrow.
I think that's what I would do.
Yeah. I can do that on future ones, like, I'll change the form to make it where it's just 100,000 in escrow.
You know, on this one, that 100,000 is fine, but also in the future, on some of these, it's gonna be more impacting certain roads. Because the location of this one, they're gonna come in off Highway 79 is what it appears. For the most part, it probably won't affect any county.
Another one, 75, on there, it'll be 75. Highway 75.
Well, they'll be on
They're doing that other road.
402.
Yeah, whatever that road is, south.
Yeah, the side road.
Mhm.
Probably be down near a mile of it.
Close to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready to move on this one?
Yes. On number 10,
Yeah, make a motion to approve the tax abatement agreement between Freestone County and Grenonia Solar Power Ratcliffe LLC.
Second.
all in favor, aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. And while we're doing this,
Sign that little bit.
we'll sign it up right now. Mhm.
Well, she's got some signing copies over there, but
I'm sorry?
She's got the same copies back here.
she's got the
I have
signing
them right
copies. But she,
Okay.
You wanna go
why
ahead and
don't
do it
you
now?
wanna
Ed?
hand them out to them, hand that to them?
Perfect.
The first one should be Brunel.
Now we'll sign it.
We just sign one place. Or we have
That's all I
to.
saw. Mhm.
I'm thinking about changing up that form too, so it's just the judge signing it. That's the format that was generally being used by other counties, so I copied it, but I don't see any reason for every commissioner to have to sign off
Sign,
on it.
mhm.
Unless I want to.
Yeah, after we voted,
Yeah.
I was voted, so, yeah, that was nice too. All right, we'll go to number 11, which is a public hearing on Freestone County's intent to enter into a tax abatement agreement with Palmera Solar Development LLC relating to solar facilities and equipment, and it is 9/22, and the public hearing is open.
Your Honor, members of the Commissioners Court, this is a 221.27 megawatt solar power generation facility. It's on approximately a 1,659 acre tract. It's reinvestment zone number 8. It's within the Buffalo ISD school district. The projected capital investment is approximately $230 million. The yearly pilot would be $198,974. The upfront payment is $15,000. And the additions and improvements are expected to be done by Q3 of 2027.
road use agreement begins on page 17. Same financial assurance option.
Right. I will change that on future ones to require the escrow payment. Did you ask for members of?
Is there any public comment? There is none. Any comment by the commissioners? If not, we will close the public hearing at
9:25.
9:25. And we will go to discussion and possible action on approval of the tax abatement agreement between Freestone County and Palmera Solar Development, LLC. If there is no discussion, we make a motion to approve the tax abatement agreement between Freestone County and Palmera Solar Development LLC.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Item number 13 is for the approval of an amendment and assignment of Tawakoni Creek Solar LLC tax abatement agreement.
I may need some help from Garrett Peters and Kay Andrews here on this because I'm not sure about all of the, where things are and stuff. But we already have a tax abatement agreement with Tawakoni Creek Solar LLC. It was decided that the better way to make sure that the project makes and to take on another project was for Tawakoni Creek Solar to assign part of its capacity to Free Cane Solar LLC. That'll bring Tawakoni Creek Solar down to about 175 megawatts, but Cane Solar LLC will come in at 300 and
38.
338 megawatts, which would be a substantially greater investment. What is the projected investment on it?
Commissioners, Judge, thanks for having me. So originally we did this Walking Creek Solar Project some years ago. The off-taker in this case, Encore, has suggested, or not really suggested, they've said we need to break the project up into phases in order to allow for it to be constructed. And so originally Tawakanna was a 502 megawatt project, and so what we're doing is we're shrinking it to 175 megawatts and then taking that remainder over to a separate project called Three Canes Solar. Still the same owner, still the same company that the county has an existing agreement with. We're simply just dividing the projects in two, but not dividing them equally. One will be 175 megawatts and the other will be 338 megawatts. This doesn't affect the school district agreement in any way. With Wortham ISD, that agreement is still intact and no changes will be made to that agreement. It's simply the county agreement that references 502 megawatts, which will now be separated into two separate agreements. So the jobs get separated, the investment gets separated, everything is exactly the same. You just have two entities as opposed to the original one entity. I answer any other questions.
There's no change to the reinvestment zone. This will all take place in the same reinvestment zone. Tawakanna Creek will be paying a $10,000 upfront payment, and Canes Solar, Three Canes Solar will be paying a $10,000 upfront payment. So really there are two parts to this: approval of the amendment and the Tawakanna Creek Solar Agreement, and then approval of the tax abatement agreement with Three Canes Solar LLC. And that's the next agenda item.
And this project here has two school districts. It has Wortham ISD and Corsicana ISD.
Yes, sir. The majority of the project is in Wortham ISD. There is a small portion in Corsicana ISD, and we also have a Chapter 313 agreement with Corsicana ISD as well. So both school districts have location agreements, secret separate.
The line that's on the map, is that the county line?
Do you mind if I approach you? Yes, sir. That's the county map. Or the county line, yes, sir.
How's it in Bear County, any of it?
There is a small portion in Navarro County. It's not shown on this map, but there is a very small portion that goes up in Navarro.
Okay.
Less than 10% probably.
Do we have a motion to approve the amendment and the assignment of Walkie Creek Solar? Oh, I'm sorry, we're back on number.
13.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Of Tawakanna Creek Solar LLC tax abatement agreement.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carried.
And the next one is the related Three Canes Solar Agreement.
Number 14, approval of the tax abatement agreement with Three Canes Solar LLC.
forgot to mention on Three Kings Solar, the pilot is $151,643 per year. The investment
$337.
$175 million.
And you're talking about on Walking Creek.
Oh, that's Walton Creek, okay.
Oh, that was Walking Creek, sorry. I was trying to find Three Canes and I got them all
It's
mixed up.
337 million.
Yeah, it's 337.
The pilot's 292.
Right. Sorry about that. I've got them all mixed up now.
I think I did too. We're good.
These total numbers, the 337 and the 175, that's all the Freestone County portion, correct? That doesn't include anything in the Bexar County.
That's correct, yes, sir.
Yeah, the pilot's 292.20.
When we talked about the, how Mara was looking at third quarter of 2027, and then the Vernonia was the end of 2026, what's that date look like on Tawakoni and Three Kings?
I do not have a cheat sheet on those.
Are they further out or sooner?
I believe the timeline's exactly the same, but let me double check that real quick.
Yeah, it's in the agreement.
So construction on both would start in 2026 and be completed in 2027. So they should be unchanged from the originals.
Construction should start in 2026.
2026 construction start, yes, sir. The one that's 337 megawatts probably will start into 2025. That's a much bigger project. But I would say January 2026, December 2025 would be realistic. The 300, even though it was 502, 330 is still a very large solar project, like in terms of solar projects in Texas. So it's likely longer than a 24-month construction time.
So, yeah, it was December 31, 2027. Completion dates. But again, a lot of that has to do with supply chain matters and getting your approvals and everything through ERCOT, working with ERCOT takes time too.
Do we have a motion to approve the tax abatement agreement with Three Canes Solar LLC?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Item number 15 is approval of an amendment by order of the Fairway Storage LLC tax abatement agreement.
Fairway Storage LLC is a battery storage agreement. Had an original project completion date of December 31, 2026. They have provided information to me and talked to me at length on the telephone about the delays in their supply chain for critical components of the project. Have made the December 31, 2026 completion date impossible. This order would extend their completion date to December 31, 2027.
Any discussion?
On this company right here, they didn't do any upfront capital with us on their agreement, did they?
No, but we hadn't started asking yet. I
Exactly
started
right.
asking.
Exactly what I'm getting at. So now that they want us to, do an amendment to the original agreement,
We asked for
we
upfront,
should
is that
have
what
an
you're
amendment
asking?
of our own.
So you want to approve it contingent on
$10,000 upfront.
upfront payment of $10,000.
We could go ahead and approve that contingent on that today, so that if it, they agree, then we wouldn't have to come back on that.
I make it.
Is
Yeah,
that
that's
right?
one, that's what I'm thinking would be the,
Okay. Is that your motion?
That is my motion.
To approve contingent on a $10,000 upfront payment.
against the pilots, right?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carried. All right.
We don't sign this off. right?
No, we'll get a new order.
Yep.
Is that correct, Mike?
We'll just hold off on the order. We'll hold off signing the order until we get a payment. Or you know what, I'll change the order and send it over to you.
Whatever you think is.
That's what I'll
best.
do, I'll
Yes.
change the order and send it over.
That'd be great, thank you, Mike.
Well, I think that's all I have. Surprise.
Happy days. Now, we will
Thank
get
you
those
all.
all stamped and
Thank you.
sent.
I have to sign them and stamped and sealed, and I'll give them back to Maria, and then she's gonna scan them to
And
me.
she'll scan them and send them. All right,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Go up to number one, back up to the beginning, approval of the minutes of the December 4th regular meeting and December 9th special meeting.
motion to approve the minutes of December 4 and December 9.
And you, hey, before you do that, on number 14, on the firework deal, you move to adopt the order restricting certain fireworks,
So we did.
to restrict, or certain ones that's restricted.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had to.
the good one. You can't boss the good one.
Let's make sure.
Yeah, well, I signed it the other day, or we did. It was in the office.
Let's make sure.
First thing is,
Some kind of mess up with it, yeah.
It's got, like a rocket, it's got a plastic band.
Wrong on an account, had, and vice versa, just for signatures. I think it's better. Yeah. And this new people. And you
We haven't done it in years. Kids are doing it, so.
On number 14 on fireworks, oh, okay. On number 14, order restricting certain fireworks. We just need for it to be clear, and it's on this order, that this order does not prohibit permissible fireworks as authorized in the Occupations Code section 2154.003A. So it's only these certain things that are restricted, all other fireworks. So,
How does that need to be worded?
maybe put to adopt an order restricting only certain fireworks in the unincorporated areas. I know it doesn't say that on that, but it's not very clear as to what it
You got a
is.
copy of that order, we just give it to her and she,
I have the order.
you got it?
Yes, yes, and it's pretty clear on the order, but,
Yeah.
yes. Look in there, what it is. All right, do we have a motion?
Andy made the motion.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Item number 2 is budget transfers and amendments. We have one, and it is ARPA funds.
Make the motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Item number 3, approve and pay the bills.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, on the bills on, care of prisoners, KCI USA, those medical supplies, is that for one inmate?
Yes.
What page? There you go.
22,
That's nearly there.
$21,886.
That'll get through, January, maybe.
I don't understand the county having to house an inmate with medical needs of that magnitude. Are they just full, the state hospitals and stuff?
Oh, I don't know, I would have to,
That's probably a question for the sheriff, I mean.
well, potentially, I would probably have to see the name to kind of know what background we're looking at necessarily.
Well, he did, and he had a surgery, and we had officers that had to go sit with him, it was a big inconvenience, you know, but that's excessive, $21,000 just in medical supplies, that's not even counting the doctor bills for the surgery.
Yeah, it's really a no-win situation when you're weighing what you feel like is safety of the public versus cost to house sometimes. It's really where the rubber meets the road, right? And I think that the sheriff's office does a good job communicating with me and the court systems of the people that we can. Hey, we're about to run into this problem. Can we get them out? Can we find a creative solution to avoid that cost? Unfortunately, it's been kind of snake bit here the last few months, to be honest with you, where we've just gotten the perfect storm of the perfect defendant that we don't feel comfortable necessarily having a creative solution to let out of jail, but is also running into medical problems as well. So hopefully it's a perfect storm that's going to go away in the future, because I haven't run into the problem, I mean, truthfully, that is this extreme since I've been here. And I was hoping that's just a one-time deal, we can get past it and kind of go back to
And
normal.
this guy's TDC ready also, right?
Yes.
It's TDC's the holdup here.
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know all the details with that, not to punt that question, but I do.
It has been
Well,
checked into.
I do know who you're talking about.
Okay, if he is ready and we're waiting on them, should they be responsible for that bill?
Another question.
We've talked about checking into that to see what we can do. But it does take longer to get someone into a medical bed. Mhm.
It does, I'm not gonna say what that timeline is or what they need. or-
So that's on them.
Because I don't know,
We
but
don't.
I know there's a information gathering time period of medical records and things like that. Yeah, I'm sorry, I know who you're talking about now.
And
Yeah,
the people that are in the mix with it and in the know work on it, but there's just,
That's just a
It's
lot
not-
just for supplies. So you're not even counting the.
What's the difference in a medical bed in the prison?
That's only in certain facilities, isn't it?
I would assume that if you have,
Abilene and Galveston.
again,
We don't have a medical bed.
talk to the state about
I don't know
that.
whether we should or should. I don't know.
We would
Would you
love
mind?
to have one.
I mean, yeah, he's coming from a normal jail to a.
Yeah.
Never put it on jail in a prison.
One of the first questions might be, how long has he been medical ready to go?
Questions you might be able to help.
The information, there's the sheriff, hallelujah, come in here. The information has been sent to them, and we have checked with them numerous times. Medical, we have, for a medical bed, we do have to wait longer. But as Andy said, he's in the jail now, so, or we'll come back to the jail. I don't know what the difference is, I can't tell you that. Will he, at that point, will he then not have to be waiting for a medical? Then he has to be cleared again, doesn't he? A medical has to be
Well,
cleared.
we're just waiting for a medical bed. At this point, I mean, what we do until then really doesn't change it.
I know, but
Is
I
he
think
still in
the
the
question
hospital right
was,
No, he's here.
He's here.
Yeah, we've been, about every 2 or 3 days.
He's making it fine not being in medical bed.
No, because we're running 2 or 3 days to the hospital. Yeah.
TDC gonna reimburse us?
Well, whatever their parameters are after 45 days or
it's
whatever.
way past 45 days.
Yeah,
All right.
they should, but
Agreed.
I'm not even.
Agreed.
I'm not even so sure they'll ever take him. So, that's my opinion.
Do what now?
I'm not even so sure they'll ever take him. I mean, we have them time lapse in our jail all the time.
We, that's a good point. I mean, I don't know when when TDC would parole him or how that communication happens. That could potentially happen before he gets sent off, now that I'm thinking about it. Of course, that causes headaches in the real world if he gets released. I mean, obviously I don't want him out because it's just constant phone calls, right, that we can solve with him being incarcerated. But that could happen before it gets ready. I don't know, I forget what I sentenced him to, and I forget what that parole time is, but he has sat in jail, I believe, before we sentenced him for quite some time, so I don't, that's a lot of talking with no answers, and I'm sorry for that, but that's kind of.
The last one we had that needed a special bed was here for over 400 days, and he literally left our facility and never went to TDC. Because they never picked him up.
There's $21,000 worth of medical supplies. How many days is that good for?
That may just probably get us to the end of the year, honestly.
When did we start? I mean,
Not next week.
in other words, is that a month's worth?
About a month's worth.
Yeah.
That's what she was sharing.
We have some solutions we've put in place come January with the court system to potentially make a maneuver to get.
I mean, does Medicare or Medicaid, I mean, that's $700 a day just in supplies, not counting us having to haul into the doctor.
I'll just say, I know y'all are working on it, there's probably some things that he cannot discuss
Yes.
openly.
Well,
That's-
and I appreciate that. I think to leave it, this is me kind commiserating about the situation we're in, right? Because there's a way for us to go back to court potentially in January, do some finagling and get him out of jail. The problem is, I sent him to prison for a reason, right? Like, I want him to be incarcerated, and I don't, no offense, I don't really, this is not my thing, right? Hey, I send him to prison, he gets incarcerated, if it costs money, it costs money. I mean, that's not part of my part in this wheel, right? So I'm kind of torn on whether I go to court and say, hey, yeah, let's let him out, knowing that if something happens on the back end, it's my name stamped on that. I don't feel necessarily
The
comfortable
thing
with
was,
that.
is when he got sentenced, he wasn't receiving $700 a day in medical supplies neither. It's happened since the fact, and he's been TDC ready for a long time.
It's kind of what,
Well, that's always been an issue, is why we don't get some people sent. But,
yeah.
and there's so many variances here.
And it's kind of one of those things too, what y'all are alluding to, like Will said earlier. I think it's interesting that a lot of times I think there's a push to get free to go handle medical issues when you know when they're free they're not going to handle medical issues, right? So that's also kind of an interesting conversation. But with all that's me just talking about internally, kind of the stuck between a rock and a hard place. But to tell the commissioners, we understand how much it's costing, and we do have a court date set in January to see where we are with the medical bed, and there is a potential that we would make a move in that court date to potentially make another move to alleviate future costs. We haven't made that decision yet, though.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, it was worthy of discussion, that's all.
Yes.
We're kind of hoping it, the heavens open up and it dissolves itself before we get there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are we ready on the bills?
I make a motion, we pay the bill.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Item number 4 is payroll.
I make a motion to approve the payroll.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried. We do have the payroll.
We signed one.
Yeah, we signed one.
We signed it.
All right. Well, let me see. Thank you. Here it is. Right here. Thank you.
Karen needs to sign. Karen still needs to sign.
Maybe, yeah, we should do it
Yeah.
this way. Confused this one about some of this. Again, and again, and again.
Need a good thing. So need a good thing.
You know it. Item number 5 is reports. We have a report from Senior Services, District Clerk. Anybody else have a report? If not, do we have a motion to accept the reports?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 6, burn ban.
No action.
No action. Item number 7.
Bill, on this, road use agreement, they didn't put their name in. I don't have the company's name on there nowhere.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him other than, I told him we'd have to do one. It was last Friday. I talked to him. I thought.
I figured they sent this in because their applicant initialed it,
Yeah.
but they should have filled in the first paragraph after.
Maybe I need to put another line up there.
Can you go?
Of the project.
It doesn't,
I'll do that.
Is that one Mitsui, you say?
yeah, yeah.
Want me to write that in? And we'll-
They have one with us right now. that when we got-
I told them I was gonna have to come up with I was gonna come up
Weeks ago.
with the bond amount, you know, and that was how.
That was, last time we did it contingent upon.
Yeah. I mean, we can do it contingent upon, I mean, this isn't a wholesale note, it's raw. It isn't very long, so I'm thinking $40,000 bond is covered. We wanna approve it, subject to that, and then we'll have to come
We're
back.
gonna have a special meeting, probably the first of next week. Some people needed some things, and, before the end of the year. I don't remember who now, a couple of them. So, let's just,
I think so, I mean, just like I
we'll
said, it's,
table it to that.
yeah, let's just table it, that way I can tell him.
All right, a motion to table, and we will add a line at the top.
Where's the place for the applicant? Do they, is this in Word where they can,
I thought it was. But,
Yeah.
where they can insert their name?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to him. I didn't know I'd have it on this one. We must have done that just as soon as we got through talking.
Yeah, and then we need, and then
Or
we'll
Thursday, it
need,
could have been Thursday. you
need the
know.
bond, okay. We will go to item number 8, to approve.
Did we vote to table it?
No.
I'll make a motion we table it.
Hey.
All in favor, aye. We have a continuing education transcript from tax assessor collector. We have a motion to accept that.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Now we'll drop down to item number 16, which is reappointment of the county historical commission members. I have a list of Carol Ann Biggers, Mandy Chavers, thank you ma'am, Jim McKee, Kathleen McKee, Sherry Nance, Amy Miller, Matt Miller, Gwen Moore, Karen Moore, Angela Oglesby, Vance Oglesby, Patricia Pratt, Brad Pullen, Diane Pullen, Jeremy Shipley, thank you Sheriff, Judy Wardale, and Rita Zorata. Those are the historical commission appointees. Do we have a motion to reappoint these?
I make that motion.
Second.
Appoint and reappoint. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Give that to you. Item number 17 is a discussion of Mr. Charles Morgan's noise frequency issue. Mr. Morgan?
Good morning. I want to address the noise need to set a limit for the noise that's coming out of these facilities, because they have some not effective. No frequency noise effects that are coming out of them. There's a reduced cognitive ability, the only thing, in children and low growth rate babies is part of the effect. Brain damage causes heart attacks, sexual dysfunction, and restless leg syndrome, and severe itching. All these are the effects of the low frequency noise. So we need to do something to make that go up. Two pages here, those things are now, and I'm thinking you can read all of that, but I can give you all a copy later. The EPA also has no rules. I think we should acknowledge that and accept it as our rules. Hearing loss, outdoor activities, limit would be 55 decibels. And indoor activity would be 45 decibels, especially in schools. If we could approve this noise fix on this rule, and it's read out to you, you would help us to get this thing down where the pressure stations are, that they have to comply with it and the laws in that area. Because they've going out wild with the noise area now. And as a matter of fact, who's the guy that is in the overall of area, the state, what kind of state, the guy who gives you a rule.
You talking about the
I
TCEQ?
think he's talking about Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton.
Paxton.
Oh, Attorney General.
He's ruining everything in this area, but the noise and stuff. He says oil and gas can do anything they want to. That's not right. The rule has to like in the 80s says otherwise. And so we need to accept the EPA noise rules, which I have here. And it gives limits on the noise levels, and basically in schools. In the school, it'd be 45 decibels, and then in other areas, 45. Indoor in schools, they said 45 dBA should be alluded to in fixed in your school, that you don't have any noise louder than 45 dBA. And outside, there is 55 dBA. And this is also acknowledged by the federal limits. The EPA have these same rules, and we want to acknowledge what their rules are, because this is very protective of people. And so we need to get this thing rule approved very quickly. 55 decibels outdoor. And hearing loss, 70. That's the federal limit, and we should very well should accept the federal limit, because what we've got in the state right now is not compatible with should accept the federal law, 45 dBA and 55 dBA in schools and stuff. So, I like that. Have you approved these particular limits? 70 in hearing loss, and 55 outdoor area, and 45 indoor area, especially schools. Low frequency noise exposure says noise below 500 cycles per second frequency. And this is below the normal human hearing range, 500 to 20,000. It travels 5 to 8 miles in all directions. And causes the adrenaline release, causes thickening of the pericardium and the heart, and different frequencies affect different body systems. So we need to prove controlling these particular items. And there's a lot here's more low frequency noise effects, especially what they are. There's head pain, causes irritability in people. This is the low frequency noise. Balance disorders, severely attacks autonomic nervous systems, and then sleep deprivation effects, reduced visual acuity, and nervous in figure and feet. Numbers of figure and feet. So if we approve this noise for his school, 45, but yet on the overall school, it will be 55. So those are the two limits that most counties acknowledge, and so that you can protect the students. And then in the general work area, noise below 500 cycles per second frequency, these are some of the things that can affect, it causes adrenaline release, causes thickening of the pericardium and the heart, and a different frequency affects different body systems. And then we have the head pain, this and more of this, low kinds of noise effects. Head pain causes irritability, balance disorders, severely affects automatic nervous systems, and sleep deprivation, ruptured eardrums and hearing loss, reduced visual acuity, and numbness in the fingers and feet. These are more of the low frequency noise effects.
I'd like to address some of those.
Now,
I would like to address some of those issues, or at least the Commissioner's Court issues.
yeah, well, one thing about the noise is the EPA noise rules. This one is really deep in fact, because they're laws are very good. Not really restricted, it talks about the 55 dBA and the 45 dBA in schools. We at least target that. I thought we can get those two items on the list.
All right. Is that you completed with your statement?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have, then the issue is if the county has the authority to regulate low frequency noise. That's the question that is before us. What can the county do? That is where we are. Jim Allison is the general counsel of the County Judges and Commissioners Association of Texas. He has been their attorney since 1983. I think that all of us are very familiar with Mr. Allison and know of his expertise on county issues.
But does he have any
Sir?
knowledge about what this stuff does to our people and what it is being approved? Well, we have a House Bill 1818.
We do, but I'm trying to tell you what the county can do.
Okay.
All right. Jim Allison is the general counsel, and he's an attorney. He has been the general counsel for the Texas Association of Counties since 1983. He is probably as familiar with county government and what can be done as anyone that I know of or have known of. Now, the Texas Comm, I'm going to tell you what he said. He had set this question before the Navarre County judge, if the noise can be addressed. And he said that unlike cities, counties do not have authority to adopt noise ordinances. The penal code does provide a Class C misdemeanor, but law enforcement must measure the noise and warn the offender. Now, we've talked about that before. There is that one statute, which is the only statute that I could find.
House Bill 1818.
The Attorney General of Texas, he addressed House Bill 1818 and stated, "The Railroad Commission shall develop an annual plan to ensure public safety and protect the environment." Now, the Attorney General said, in opinion, that we find no express provision in the statutes governing the Railroad Commission that requires the commission to enforce noise controls in oil and gas operations. And that is the Attorney General of the state that has addressed that. An Attorney General opinion is a written interpretation of existing law. Attorney General opinions cannot create new provisions in the law.
Well, we have.
So the Attorney General and the General Counsel of the Texas Association of Counties have all addressed these. While counties have been delegated certain powers by the state, and the counties only have those powers, the powers that come through the Constitution or that come through the statutes. But the states still, the counties still remain under the full state control. So that is where we are on it. Those are the opinions of people that are qualified in county government. And that's basically where I am on that. I know you went down to the legislature and tried to get that specifically put in the
federal laws that cover this area about PA noise and hook detectors from all this stuff.
You brought me a sheet on the EPA, and on that sheet it says there were EPA public access and there were questions. And one of them was, does the EPA regulate noise? And the answer there was the EPA does not. Now, they did give that authority to the states and local governments. The state, our state, created county governments under the Constitution. And what the Constitution says and what the state laws say are the only things that we can look at. And that's just all I know about or have to say about it.
And they're saying we can't regulate noise in our state?
It has to be put into a statute, and in that statute it has to say who would implement that. And they have implemented, the state did implement through TCEQ, Texas Commission on Environmental Issues, and the Railroad Commission. Those are things that were created by the state to look at these issues and handle them as they see fit. Anybody have a question?
They're not
Anybody else have an answer or a
I
comment?
think the main thing I wanna say is that I would love if we had the authority to make sound barriers be put up around all these large compressors in the county. I think that would be great. But what the judge is saying is, we don't have that authority. And there's not any laws that have been passed down to us that we can enforce.
Well, I think we do have the right.
I do too, but this is the wrong court to address it in, is what the judge is trying to say.
Well, I'm sorry, that's the way it is, I guess. And there's EPA knowing rules, it tells you what the limit is, and indoor activity is 45. And the general area is 55 decibels. But it's been in here before, we just need to act ready for us. This is EPA noise rules. And
And they were
they
delegated to the
hold-
state, and the state has put that under the TCEQ or the Railroad Commission.
They did what with it?
It's the TCEQ and the Railroad Commission are the ones that, that regulate those things, not the county, not the county.
Well,
I know that you went to the state, you went to the committees and talked to them about putting something in the House Bill 1818. And you talked to them and asked them to put that in, is that correct?
it's not,
And why did you do that? Because you knew it needed to be in there so that it would be regulated. They didn't put it in there the way that you wanted it to. But that's what's got to happen. It's got to be something that's in a statute so that we would be able to address it. Us or the EPA or the Railroad Commission.
how many people are allowed to be killed by
All right.
this decision? And
Do you have anything, any other comments?
Crazy.
I just don't,
well, we're killing our people, we're letting oil and gas kill our people. What can we do to help them out? The sheriff can go out there? I call the sheriff just about every night.
well, I think he's right back there too. I know. I understand. The only thing that I can suggest is what we've talked about before, is going to the legislature, which you've done, but trying to get them to specifically put noise in that bill.
It's in the federal law, we don't have to comply with federal law. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, federal law, we don't have to comply with that. Because somebody out there in the state said, I don't know about it.
No, that's not the way it works. The
Well,
the EPA gave that to the states and local governments, and the state gives what information, what we can do.
Right.
And that's all I can tell you, the only way I can explain it to you is, the state took that over, the state has done the TCEQ and statutes as to what we can do, and that's where we are on it.
She's saying there's no statute that says that we, as Commissioners Court, can enforce that federal law that you're talking about.
I don't think that every one of these
Well-
laws is saying that. But anyway, I mean, our people are gonna die.
All right, but all I can tell you is Jim Allison and the Attorney General, we looked at all of those things, and that's all we have. I can't find anything else. that
I
we
guess
can
I'm gonna
do.
get it on a big gun because they're getting too close to me. I've been to the hospital 4 times because of this
You
crap.
think you need to get a big gun?
I may have to get a bigger gun. If those guys are gonna kill me,
Okay.
well, listen to me.
I wish we could do something
I think
else.
this
to
is
help.
over.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're all right. Go ahead.
I appreciate you guys.
Let's go.
Thank I need myself.
And I appreciate what you said. I do wish that we could find something that we could help Mr. Whiting with. But until somebody else acts through the legislature, we don't have the authority, and I'm sorry about that. All right, we'll go to item number 18, windscreen switches.
Good morning, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
A little closer here. Okay, Windstream, and they did submit a quote. The quote was incorrect, so I've been waiting for it to come back. They had put some stuff as far as the recorded lines for the sheriff office. And so I kicked it back to them, said it's not good, so anyway, they're revising it, so I'd like to table that.
So we need
to
a
next
table. Do we have a
commissioner's
motion?
report.
Motion table.
We got a second? All in favor, aye. 19, security for the federal building, the DA's office, and Larry.
Here are 3 quotes that are
Various issues.
in this package that is for those 3 outlined. And this is pretty much going to wrap up the county. They'll take care of the DA's office.
Yes, this.
They'll take care of the DA's office. DA's office, the federal building, the whole federal building. And there'll actually be some cameras at that federal building. I talked to Larry a little bit about it. We're going to project some of those over on this side of the street towards the courthouse, which will get coverage there, as well as over here. It'll be outside perimeter of the building, and inside the hallway downstairs where you come in the 2 entry exit doors, there'll be cameras there. We currently have, this doesn't have the alarm system because just where it's located, and the panic buttons we currently have that we're currently using, so those aren't included in there. So it's pretty much a camera system. But there are some door controllers for access primarily to the front and back door to where the sheriff and where the sheriff deputies and the dispatch building control access.
This will be about 45,000.
And Karen's reviewed it, yeah.
Yes.
And
And we're supposed to note at this time that we'll be using ARPA funds for this, but that needs to be in the motion.
It is an allowable expense if y'all choose to use those funds. I did speak with Grant Works, I got an email back saying that was an allowable expense for the ARPA funds. So if you should want to use those funds, we have $149,970.64 left to be allocated, which will have to be allocated by the end of, this month. And so, if we should do that, it would leave us with $105,255.34. So,
Now, will this be all of that we will need for that building?
as far as any of this, the only thing that I've got left is we got to put in some interior doorknobs, but they're not going to be, they're $50 a piece. It's
I meant along these lines.
yeah, this is pretty much going to be it. We'll have the county pretty much covered. I am going to need to get a monitor for Larry in here. There's a viewing station license. It's a 5-year license, and so I can get Larry where he can monitor everything that's going on across the county.
I think the main thing, those doorknobs over there, we're probably gonna have to buy 2 of the brackets that hold the monitors. One for the monitor that'll show the map, the CAD system over there. And then in Larry's office, that was going in the center block wall, so we'll probably need to hire someone to mount them that knows how to do that. And I have reached out to someone that's gonna come give us a quote next time we go to the.
So at this time, are we approving the purchase of these with ARPA funds in the amounts of these, or what do you want?
Yeah.
he's got 3 motions right there.
Yeah. So on item number 19, 3 separate motions. I make a motion to approve the Verkada camera system for the DA's office using ARPA funds in the amount of $6,476.51.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried.
Another motion would be to approve Verkada camera systems for the communications building using ARPA funds in the amount of $36,403.81.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried.
I make a motion to approve Verkada DX52 viewing station for courthouse security in Mary's office using ARPA funds in the amount of $1,834.98.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried.
When will these be installed? When will this be installed?
These particular systems, everything's installed pretty much right now, except for these that you are just approving. Those will be installed after we change, if we get the new Windstream switches. There's no reason for me to install them until then, so it's probably gonna be in January.
So it'll be installed before the dispatch goes into
That's
effect?
the whole idea, yes, sir. Yeah. If I can get Windstream.
If not, we'll go to item number 20, to propose the policy for the county employees that use and operate county systems. Do we want to do that today, or do you want to?
We can
Have we notified everyone we need to?
no, we have not. It's something that,
Okay, let's table this to the next meeting. So that we can, I haven't done that either. so.
okay.
But you will contact the ones that,
But it's gonna be county, I mean, it's gonna affect everybody, every employee in the county that's on computers. So probably what I need to do is identify those that's gonna affect the most, I guess, and get their feedback as soon as what you're,
well, only the elected officials, just for their office, so
Okay.
they will know.
yeah, I will have to circle
Yes.
around the elected officials,
Yes.
make notes.
All right. And the purpose in that is for security, because we've had,
Yeah, it's primarily around,
Pages already.
it's primarily to address the use of like Gmail or Yahoo Mail or these outside email systems that can affect our systems. We had an issue with it a few months ago, got caught up with some legal ramblings, and so we're just trying to prevent that from happening in the future.
okay, we'll table that. Did we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to table.
I'll second.
Okay, motion carried. Item number 21 is ARPA funds.
Okay, so now, well, the first thing is Lloyd is gonna purchase, a truck, so we need, I have a motion here for that. I think, is it on that sheet? It is on that sheet. He's gonna purchase a truck using his allocated ARPA funds, so we need to do that. You wanna do that, you wanna read that motion?
I'll make a motion to approve purchase of a Ford F-550 truck using ARPA allocated funds for precinct 3 in the amount of $79,054.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried.
Okay, so then we've got $105,255.34 left. We just need to decide what the court wants to do. If we have to have it allocated, meaning a purchase order,
Since we're
or
coming to the end of time,
we're
not the
here.
end of time, but the end of the month, we have to have it allocated. The most logical thing would be to divide it between the 4 commissioners.
That's correct. The amount would be, if they wanted to do it equally, would be $26,313.84.
Is that
Yep.
most?
I'll make a motion.
You may read it.
Because we've got to have it done.
Make a motion to approve the remaining unallocated ARPA funds in the amount of $105,255.34 to be split between Road and Bridge Precinct 1, 2, 3, and 4 equally. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried.
Okay, one more thing. So, because of that, so I went ahead and I figured what each one of them would have for the road material for the whole entire grant. I have I have the memorandum of understanding, for each precinct, and, with the assistance of Grant Works that helped, put this together. The county judge signs that each one of the commissioners has one, and it has their amount that they're gonna spend on road materials for the entire grant that they have allocated. I just need, I've got motions here for each one of them, Judge. And here they are. Here's all four of them. Those are the motions. And here is each one of them. And they'll just need to be signed and attested by Renee.
I'm gonna read all, well, we can get a motion on each one of them. The motion is to approve the memorandum of understanding between Freestone County and Freestone County Office of Precinct 1 Commissioner for the road repair work in the county, including but not limited to a county ARPA allocation of $504,621.64.
I'll make that motion.
Thanks.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. The motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between Freestone County and Freestone County Office of Precinct 2 Commissioner for the road repair work in the county, including but not limited to a county ARPA allocation of $264,111.71.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. The motion is to approve the memorandum of understanding between Freestone County and Freestone County Office of Precinct 3 Commissioner for the road repair work in the county, including but not limited to a county ARPA allocation of $383,973.02.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. The motion is to approve the memorandum of understanding between Freestone County and Freestone County Office of Precinct 4 Commissioner for the road repair work in the county, including but not limited to a county ARPA allocation of $332,392.67.
I'll make that motion.
I second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carries. Anything else for ARPA?
We got to sign all those.
Yes, each one of you sign your own, yeah, and the judge.
Just one signature?
You sign all of them, and each one of the commissioners signs their own, and then Renee will sign all of them.
I'm gonna hold this for a minute, we'll do it when we get through. Okay, item number 22 is to add Heather Sutton to the Citizens Bank Inmate Trust Fund bank account.
That what we need, Sheriff?
Yeah, she's our new record clerk. Doing a good job, actually, by the way. Doing a really good job. Running pretty quick.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 23 is consider going out for sealed bids to sell a 2002 Dodge one-ton flatbed truck for Precinct 1 Road and Bridge.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. 24, consider going out for sealed bids to sell a John Deere CX-15 mower for Precinct 1 Road and Bridge.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item 25, consider going out for sealed bids to sell a 24-inch tandem axle gooseneck flatbed trailer for Precinct 1 Road and Bridge.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Comments? We will have our Christmas luncheon at 12 o'clock at the Green Barn. Any other comments?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, you have,
Second.
you have